Okay, that's on. All right. Get set up here a little bit. Make sure everything's working the way it should. And then can work on this nonsense. What was that? Huh. Some sci-fi story with point and stick, and I might have to check that out. All right, so I wanted to go over a little bit of Jesus, man. I got time. Ain't doing much right now. So figure why the hell not? Just, let's see. So I need to share. What are we doing? What are we doing? Where's that other window? Let's see. Actually, I should plan this out better. Where the hell did that go? Do I have this up here somewhere? Oh, there it is. I got all fucked up. All right. So there's a little bit of an issue that people have been having. Honestly, it's an issue I've had since the beginning of this thing, since I first saw this thing, but this is only part of the statement. It's not the full statement, obviously. This was just what was shared in the Discord, and so because of that, I'm just kind of using this, and it kind of just gives me enough to work with for now. Because this is supposedly the statement of the nanny. So what we got here? We got what is that other thing, man? What is this? Hold on. I'm gonna stop this and fucking figure out what the hell screens I got open on this thing. Oh, that's okay, yeah, it's the bullshit from the thing. All right. From the Epstein files. All right, so here we go. I think I got my shit together now. And I actually got everything set up, so this should run a little smoother than most times that I do this. Anyways, this is the nanny. This caused a lot of fucking issues with the timeline of Jesus Campos. And so I want to kind of run through the Jesus stuff a little bit because this gets really crazy. It boils down to where we have basically 3 timelines for him. And actually, you know what? I didn't run up the well, I already showed that in the last video of Lombardo saying Campos up there, what, 959 or whatever. So anyways, this is the nanny. And I hate when they use like bullet points. They don't say, then this happened, then this happened. So, you know, in this, we got to assume that all this shit is in order. So what she got here is opened her door to look out the room, saw a security officer, which it's got to be Campos, right? I don't think anyone's going to argue that. Walking by her room, security officer said everything was fine and she'd go back in her room. So we got to assume at this point Campos was not shot at yet and was walking down the hallway. So she saw Campos before the shooting. That's what it looks like. You know, maybe she saw him fucking with room 129, I'm guessing, possibly. It says received a text from I forget, was it not DJ Silver? I forget who she was related to. Saying they were being shot at the festival. Okay, so we got to assume that some time had gone by at this point. She told him the baby and her were safe. She told, or this person told her, she might be coming from the Mandalay Bay and to get the baby out of the room. She propped her door open with the deadbolt and exited her room. She walked to room, I'm guessing 130. I think she was in 129. Yeah, she was in 129. They were in 130. I was kind of screwed up about that in the past. I always thought it was the opposite, but it doesn't really matter all that much. So her room was 129. So maybe he was fucking with her door. She opened it up. Said, what the fuck are you doing? Or maybe he closed her door. She opened it back up. Said, what the fuck are you doing? I don't know. So to get the baby out of the room, she attempted to open the door with the key, but the key did not work. So we have an issue there, right? Did she have the wrong key? Or are we to assume that the keys were locked down at this point, right? If they're locked down at this point, then we got some timeline issues going on here. This person attempted to open the door with the key, but the key did not work. She could not get in the room. So if we're to take this in sequential order, as far as the way the bullet points are done, which again, I have a problem with that. This is after the shooting was already happening. That's a little strange. She went back into her room. She continued to her rapid gunfire here, I'm guessing. Later heard a loud explosion. Of course, we know what that is. So that part doesn't really matter all that much in this. So how do we put this together? All right. She got a text saying they're being shot at the festival. And to get the kid, get the baby out of the room. So I guess we can say baby is still in the room. At the time shooting was going on in the festival, she was told to get the baby out of the room. So I guess we can assume the shooting was already going on. And then she propped her door open with the deadbolt, exited the room, and she walked to the room to get the baby out. I doubt she walked, but whatever. And then she attempted to open the door with the key, but the key did not work. Now, why did the key not work, right? Had they locked it down already? Are we talking about late into the shooting, or are we talking about early in the shooting? Did they even lock down those doors? Because if we look at the FIT report, we have absolutely zero evidence of them locking down that hallway. That's an issue. So, it's an issue with getting a timeline going here. Attempted to open the door with the key, but the key did not work. I don't know. That's hard to say, man. Did she get the wrong key? She had the wrong fucking key, and then she just couldn't get in. I mean, I don't know. Did they? They locked down the floor, but they didn't lock down room 135, or did they lock down room 135 and just not show up in the report? I don't fucking know. I would think in the lock interrogation report that would definitely show if they did that to his door. So I don't fucking know. And I would think, at that point, well, I guess they did kind of have an idea what room it was coming from, but I would think they would just lock down the whole damn row, the whole floor. But we don't have any evidence of that in the lock interrogation, so I don't know what to make of that. That's kind of an issue. So we got Aunt Mary, I think her name is. I think everyone's calling her Aunt Mary for a long time. So we got her supposedly walking across that hallway after the shooting had already started. So, okay. So we got something like that going on. When did that happen? I don't know. And that's kind of the issue that we have there. Because, oh my God, this gives me a headache. So trying to put that together, she was out in that hallway sometime during the shooting between 10:05, 10:15. She definitely wasn't up there when, or she definitely wasn't out in that hallway. Well, okay. So I'm gonna show this real quick. Let's look at this. And I forget what the name of this is, Featherstone and Beeson or something like that. I think the name of the guys were. So these are the two guys, the bicycle cops, I believe, that went up there. So the shooting's already underway by the time they get up there. They get up there at 10:17 is when we get a first hallway. So we're a little
get in there besides that.
So what's the number?
So what we got here, real quick, just to kind of get some context here. I want to get to the point where they first get up into the hallway. because I'm going to be bouncing around all over in this thing. So that is a service elevator. That's what a service elevator looks like. A lot of people have problems with that. You know, when we look at the nightline footage, it don't look like that. That's a key panel, man. That thing's got just about every floor. It's got to have actually every damn floor in the whole building right there. And you can get pretty much anywhere with that service elevator. The guest elevators are a little bit different. Behind that guy's, what would that be, his right shoulder? His right, our left, looking at him. Behind that shoulder would be the normal. I guess it's on the other side too. Sometimes it's on either side of those elevators, I believe, if I remember right. But yeah, that would be where the keypad is for the normal elevator, because it won't have all the floors. It only have whatever floors those elevators are assigned to. So yeah, it's definitely a scaled down version of that, which is kind of a problem we had with the nightline footage, where the nightline footage only has, Campos is hitting the buttons, obviously, behind where this guy's shoulder would be. Tells me it's not a service elevator, even though in the nightline footage, they say he got into a service elevator, but it's obviously not, because this is what a service elevator should look like. We also have pictures of Laura Loomer in one of these things when she went up there with Turber. So that was one of the good things that they did together. So we got that.
You guys halfway down to that. You meet a little manager.
This guy says the manager's already up there. His manager, I believe, is what, Sottle? But I think Alsbury was up there too.
Will you have access to that room?
Apparently my managers are on scene, so as soon as you guys get there, we'll let you guys know.
What do you want to do? You want to make entry? We're going to have to.
We're going to have to, yeah.
No, you're not. Fuck no.
Do we want to wait for 2 more, or we just want to make entry? Is he still shooting?
I don't know. I don't even know if anybody else is close. I think everybody else is pinned outside.
All right. So, real quick, what we just saw there.
Do we want to wait for 2 more, or we just want to make entry? Is he still shooting?
I don't know. I don't even know if anybody else.
Because some I never paid attention to, but yeah, okay. I think we saw it here.
I think everybody else is pinned outside.
Okay, we got a cart, and we got a ladder with somebody's drink on top of it. Is that Shuck? Shuck, leave that shit there.
Straight now.
All right, so about 10:18, we get the view. God, the ugliest artwork in that place. It's horrible. Like nightmare fuel.
We're doing that right now. 30 seconds forward.
Yeah, so 10:18.
Okay, he's still firing. If not, we'll stand by and wait for more. We'll have 2 of us.
There's our hero. All right, little Jesus. Looking pretty fucking trim, dude.
I don't know if it's a pellet or a 22 or.
Looking pretty slim and trim, bro.
We have access to this room.
And that's Alsbury, right? I believe it's Alsbury, because I think Sottle was a skinnier dude. I think. I don't know. I always get them mixed up. Alsbury and Sottle. I always get them mixed up.
The room's at the end of the hallway, and apparently, from what he was saying, they put a bracket up on the stairwell door. Copy, it's definitely on 100, on 32. And it's you go down all the way.
Yeah, so that's the maintenance guy or whatever. And I like how he said, from what he said, so you don't even know Campos' name. You don't give a fuck about him.
The direction I'm shooting is probably the people, so look out for that.
The direction he was shooting was probably the
He
people.
was. That's how I got that.
Oh boy, needs to shave, man. Need to shave. Clean that shit up.
You're gonna be on the wrong.
Why are these dudes chilling in the hallway, man? What's up with these guys, man? I think they're the armed security, but why are they chilling in the hallway? What's going on there? Anyway, so I believe at 10:22, we may have Mary coming into the scene.
What room is the number?
135.
One on the very end.
He's just cruising. Yeah, fuck it. You know, he's a big target too, man. But yeah, he's a massive target for Paddock there. But I mean, he fills that hallway, this boy. But I don't know why. Yeah, he's just casually walking around. Yeah, fuck it. Who cares?
The double doors on the very end.
Like these cops, man, they're hiding. They're not stupid. This dude's just cruising.
I still want.
That's a long hallway, man. Those are long hallways. Looking like 100 yards or some crazy shit like that, man. That's a long hallway. I'm just gonna play through this a little bit.
Huh? You have a. Where do you see that? Probably the barrel.
There's the pellet, 22. So he's saying to turn off the elevators right there.
And the crystal room. Is he okay?
Go.
I don't know what that is about the crystal room. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Radio.
Unless they're talking about some of the other cops coming in and they're in the crystal room at the time, going through it. I don't know.
Tell them thank you, but right now we've got 2 shifts out. We should be going okay for now. We haven't
So it's between shifts. He's saying that right now. We got 2 shifts out. So I'm guessing, Campos is supposed to get off, I believe, at 10 o'clock. And so you got overlapping shifts here.
You're gonna be dead over here from this way. Flying the corner this way. Oh, elevator. You're gonna have a dead spot with the radio. Just go around the corner.
159?
35.
Is there anywhere else to get in there besides down this hallway?
Say what?
Is there any other way to get down there to it?
There's a stairwell on every single floor, but they've got it bracketed off.
What kind of?
Say again, Jesus? Hey, listen.
So I remember this being creepy when I first heard this shit, the yelling downstairs. And Varson Hendricks going fucking nuts down there.
Downstairs, they had to do by the elevator. They're screaming.
Where? Two barrel up here. That's some crazy guy.
So we do have a timeline of Campos at least being out of the 10:18. We have him out of the hallway at least by then, but yeah, it doesn't really help all that much. I believe at 10:22 here we have something. I believe that's the timestamp I had on it.
Brian, no.
I'll see. I mean, he could have been clipped right there, I guess, but that's hard to say. I mean, dude, I'm sorry, man. Campos, he looks lean and mean right there, dude. He don't look. I mean, he's a little little bit pudgy, man, but he ain't big like he is in all the photos, man. I don't know. It's fucking crazy. This guy gained a lot of weight in a couple weeks, man.
No traffic unless it's involved in this stuff.
Is that a crime, fat shaming Campos?
Got it. Ma'am, get in the room.
Okay, right there, man. You hear him say, ma'am, get in the room. And you see, what's that, Allsbury or whatever, and the dipshit behind him looking down the hallway. So obviously it's the 100 wing. It's somebody down the 100 wing getting out of the room. I'm guessing you got the nanny right there.
59, I need the radio, please. I'm on the 30.
So it's a 1022. So we can kind of, I guess, say this causes problems, but it does fit a little bit. Now, I was also told that there's actually, because I didn't get the whole statement here, I don't have the whole statement pulled up, but supposedly she came out of the room twice in this statement. But this right here, propped her door open with the deadbolt and exited her room. Walked to the room to get the baby out of the room, attempt to open the door with the key, but the key did not work. And then we hear then we got the loud explosion, all that stuff. So we don't have anything in between there. So this is a problem with going sequentially with bullet points like this. It's if we jumbled all these, if we put this bullet point down below the one below it, because then went back into her room, she continued to hear rapid gunfire. Okay, so maybe she came out of the room earlier. But is this her coming out of the room now? That creates kind of an issue. So we got her coming out, seeing the Campos walk by. So yeah, I guess this is the whole thing as far as that goes. So we see her, she sees Campos walking by. So that had to be 10:04, 10:03, 9:59. Who knows what the timeline is there. And then later we have her coming back out. Tipped open the door. It says she went back, and I don't think we have the actual. I mean, it may be out there, but I don't think we have the actual written statement from her. We just have these fucking bullet points, which personally, I don't trust the LVMPD and their investigations, or the FBI, whoever this was that fucking dealt with this. Yeah, they seem to be fucking up a lot of things. So I don't know if I trust this very much. As far as timeline, right? She went back into her room. She continued her rapid gunfire. I want to see the actual statement. I want to see her say afterwards, the gunfire continued or something of that nature, because they could have added this on the wrong line in the wrong place. These bullet points could be out of order. There's all kinds of bad things could be happening there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this here went back in her room. She continued to hear rapid gunfire. Could be actually up here, even though it doesn't state that she originally heard rapid gunfire, but it doesn't state that down here either. So I don't know. That's a tough one. And then somebody pulled up Campos's original statement. Now, Campos did an interview supposedly, and I don't have that. Supposedly he did an interview with a newspaper while he was in the hospital, I believe, around this time. I believe, if I remember right, it was something that JP hooked me up with back in the day, but I don't have it anymore. I don't have anything anymore, to be honest with you. I threw everything out at one point, got frustrated with this shit, and just threw it all out. It is interesting. Good top says Manly Bay Security. Henderson. So he was in Henderson. I guess, it would be interesting. Whoops. What the fuck did I just do? Oh my God. My computer's going fucking ape shit with this. Oh my God. Really, dude? Really? Okay, there we go. Sorry, my fucking mouse is not cooperating. So anyway, supposedly there is an interview out there with him. I don't know. This is all I got right now. But we have some conflicts here. So on Sunday, October 1st, 2017, approximately 10 o'clock, right? Well, so I guess he would have known it was almost 10 o'clock by, he was about to get off work because that's approximate and it's, 10 o'clock. So it's probably not exact. Sure he didn't look at his watch while he's getting shot at. I was responding to a hot sauce room using stairwell, attempting to open door on 32nd floor, 100 wing. And you got to also understand this guy's probably doped the fuck up. I know he just had a little pinhole in his back of his foot, but I mean, they'll fucking hop you full of all kinds of shit just for anything these days. So I'm sure he was hopped up on something at this point. Let's see, 100 wing, it was blocked, went down a floor. So it went down a floor. So we got him going down instead of going up in this statement. To use another wing stairwell. And I believe that, man. I think this guy would go down rather than going up a floor. It's just a hell of a lot easier after 8 hours of walking these halls. I just believe it. I don't know. Anyway, so let's see. It was blocked. Went down a floor to use another wing stairwell, approaching room 321 through 5. Hopped on Mountain Dew. No, I think it's probably a little stronger than Mountain Dew, bro. This guy was probably on all kinds of crazy shit at this point. Let's see. So room 321 through 5, shots were fired as I was leaving. And I got hit in my left calf. Called for backup, and security dispatch sent armed security with shift manager. Sottle? I don't know. I mean, isn't his manager Sottle, I believe, responded, and I was evacuated. This might be two names here. So he could have called up Sottle, and the maintenance guy responded. I guess it's possible. Is what this could be saying. And I was evacuated, went down to baggage area where SWAT cleared area, then got medical treatment for Metro officers, first responders before I was evacuated, then SWAT. 4 Metro officers first responded before I was evacuated. All right, so we're going to have 4 cops up there, and I think we do see them actually tell Campos get the fuck out. And I think it is actually 4 cops. So I think that was correct. But what do we got here? Responding hot sauce, using room stairwell, attempting open door, 32nd floor, 100 wing is blocked. Went down a floor to use another wing stairwell, approaching room 321 through 5. Okay. This is kind of fucked up, but attempting to open the door on 32 floor, 100 wing, it was blocked. Okay, so he's in the stairwell. Went down a floor in the stairwell. Used another wing stairwell. Okay, we have. Why would you use a stairwell, bro? Now we've gotten in an argument about this. I'm thinking this is just me rationalizing this, just looking at this from my perspective, thinking maybe this is a possibility. Because why would you use a stairwell, bro? Like, why? Why would you do that? Why would you walk all the way down the end of one of those wings, the 200 or the whatever, to get up there? That's crazy. That's a little crazy. So, I mean, I would think you would use the elevators, but it's possible to me that maybe they're not supposed to be in the elevators. Because it seems like it would be a little strange. This is a ritzy hotel. It's high end. At least it's supposed to be. They want to present that. I would think it might be a possibility that this hotel does not want their security guards riding up and down the elevators because it just looks bad. It looks crazy. It looks like shit's always going on. These guys are always going up and down those floors and with the hot sauce alarms, all sort of stuff. At least that's what we're supposed to believe. I don't know if I believe the hot sauce thing, but if that's the case, I don't know if you want, an army of security guards, crawling up and down your, your elevators with guests, seeing them the whole time. I think it'd be a little awkward. So it's possible that they're told not to use those elevators, unless it's emergency or something like that. But yeah, that's possible to me. So I guess it is possible he went down the stairs and then back upstairs. So my recollection, and I said this before, is that those hallways, I believe, took 2.5 minutes to walk at a leisurely pace or whatever, because I've walked them. And I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look at it. I got videos of it. I just haven't done it. But because I did video myself walking up and down those hallways. But I believe it was like 2.5 minutes, right? So we got travel time on him right there of he went and had to walk down to a floor. He's in the 100 wing, has to walk all the way down the 100 wing, all the way to, let's say, the 200, because we went to the 300. I believe 300 wing is where service elevators are. Why not just take the service elevator? Maybe didn't want to, maybe, I don't know. And then went back up, right? So that's good 5 minutes right there, right? And then he comes back up, and now he's got another 5-minute journey to get to the foyer, right? So now we're talking about a 10-minute journey right there. So I guess I never really thought of that, until right now. But I guess got to keep that in mind as far as all this goes. So yeah. So if you're talking about a 9:59 timeline of him being behind that door, he would be in that foyer by 10:09. That don't work. That don't work, brother. That don't work at all. We got fucking issues. So that doesn't work. So now what are we talking about, right? Was he in the foyer at 9:59 now? Is that, to be honest with you, I believe that's probably closer to the case. But I don't know. That looks like what we're looking at with this. All right. So then we get to, we can go into another statement, the later statement he gave. And let's see if we can find this. There it is. All right. So this is Campos' later statement. Don't give a shit about hearing about Detective Penny. So let's go to next page. Incident was approximately 10:08. This interview is taking place on October 4th. Why does it keep doing that? Dude? Sorry, my windows are getting all fucked up for some reason, man. I don't know. Fucking Mac, dude. Macintosh pissing me off. This interview is taking place in October. Yeah, I don't care. Interview taking place. Don't give a shit. The time of the interview doesn't matter to me. And tell me what you're doing, what you brought into this incident we're investigating, or brought you into it. Approximately 10 o'clock. Again, 10 o'clock. He's sticking to that. That's good. I want to see him sticking to stuff. I received a call from dispatch. Told me to go to check the doors. We have a hot sauce system, which indicates the door is propped open for a long time. Okay. On my patrol, I was in on last room, which was 30. Hey, how you doing, Jeff? How you doing? Good to see you, man. I was on my way to 32129 and approached the stairwell from 31st floor to the 32nd. The door that leads to the stairwell, and I could just see him say the door that leads to the stairwell in the hallway was locked and secured, locked. And I was out of the ordinary. It was out of the ordinary because those doors are always open. All right. Not worried about that. We're not getting the timeline here. So I dropped down the 31st floor. Okay, so he went down. Not what the fucking, yeah. Not what the report says, but all right. Dropped down 31st floor, went down the hallway. So he's sticking to his story. That's what I want to see. Went down the hallway into the elevators. Okay, so why did you say you just, in your other statement that was done earlier, you said you went into the stairwell. Now he went into the elevators. Went down to the elevators. I believe it was the center core elevators. And then from there, I walked all the way down the last room on the left, which is the door. So this guy, real quick, I want to look at something here, dude. Does this guy have counsel with him for this? I would expect he did because everybody else did. Let's see. The cell phone number. He's employed at the Mandalay Bay as occupation security officer. He works days off. Or the interview is being referred to as an active shooter investigation, which turned. Yeah. Okay. So I guess I should have paid attention to that first fucking paragraph there. Interview taking place. The interview is taking place in Mandalay Bay, 32nd floor, room number 124. Also present for the interview is union representative. So all he had was a union representative. He didn't have counsel for Mandalay Bay like a lot of the other ones did, which is interesting. I don't know who the union rep is, why they brought him into this, but so that's a little strange, man. That kind of takes out the whole idea of, I mean, it doesn't take it away, but it caused problems with the idea that Campos was being coached by the lawyers from the Mandalay Bay. You know, a lot of these people did, though. They had lawyers from the Mandalay Bay whenever they interviewed the Mandalay Bay employees. All right, so dude, the Ring app sucks, man. Every time someone hears a fucking firework go off, it's like gunshots. Everyone panics. So I dropped down 31st floor. So I went down the hallway to the elevators, into the elevators. I believe it was the center core elevators. Bro, how could you not know which elevator you took, man? Like, you got service elevators and you got center core elevators. Like, how could you not fucking know? I don't fucking understand that. But okay. And then from there I walked okay. Let's get conspiratorial with this, right? I don't usually do this, but let's do it. Let's say this statement's all a bunch of lies. Let's say he was coached. And he was coached by the Mandalay Bay, whatever, some representatives from the Mandalay Bay. He was coached that way to limit the liability, which is the only thing I can imagine. I mean, I'm not going to go into the conspiracy theory that he saw somebody walk out of that room. I'm just not doing that. But he was coached to limit the liability of Mandalay Bay. Now, they have to prove that he did everything in his power and he was powerless to stop the events or even to do anything to change the events of that night. It was not the Mandalay Bay's fault. It was not security officer Campos, who works for the Mandalay Bay's fault, that any of this happened, that it started in the way that it started, that any of it had anything to do with him. He was just an innocent bystander who was hit and was doing his job. If that's the case, then I can see this being a lie, right? I didn't go. He didn't know whether he went to the center core. He just knows he went to an elevator. He went to an elevator. Well, there's only two fucking choices there, bro. There's a center core, which makes the most sense because it's closer. You only have to walk down the 100 wing from the 31st floor, 100 wing to the elevator to the center core, as opposed to walking down another wing to get to the service elevators, right? Which would be your other elevator option. So how do you not know which one you did, right? You walk down two hallways, you walk down one hallway, bro. Like, what the fuck did you do? Doesn't make any sense. And that's where I get hemorrhoids. So, yeah, it don't make no sense. And then from there, I walked all the way down to the last room on the left, which is the door that leads to the stairwell. As I observed the metal bracket that was keeping the door shut, I called a security dispatch. They stated they weren't aware and to contact engineering. I contacted engineering. They stated they weren't aware of the situation either. So he was told to contact engineering. He wasn't put on hold. He wasn't transferred. He was told to contact engineering, according to this statement. Right now, he could be misremembering this stuff. I wouldn't hold against him. They said they weren't aware of the situation. Plus, the wording could just be whatever. He talks funny. They say they weren't aware of the situation either. At that moment in time, I heard noises, which I assume were drills or like a very loud drill. That's where we start having problems. That's what fucks this whole timeline up, is the drilling noise, right? And he claimed the drilling noise, he never let that down. He fucking held with that story. So I started, and he's consistent with that story. So I started walking away from the room. Okay, so at this point, right, where is he? At the moment, they say they weren't aware of the situation either. He's on the phone. He's on the phone. Is he in the foyer? Is he on a cell phone? What is he doing here? Because according to the final report, we're going to have issues with that. According to the final report, they stated he used the phone from the foyer and that they transferred him. Okay. And I'm just going off memory on that. I'll look into that later. At that moment in time, I heard noises, which I assume were drills or like a very loud drill. So where the fuck are you? Like, where are you right now? Are you in the hallway? I mean, because obviously it looks like you were in the hallway, but you're talking to people on the phone. And according to the LVMPD, you were in the fucking foyer talking on the phone. So where are you? Right? Do we have a break in the timeline here? Do we have a little bit of a difference here between these two events, or these two events completely separate? It doesn't look like it, because it says at that moment in time, I heard noises, which I assume were drills. And again, Campos talks funny. So, we got to assume certain things with him. At that moment in time, I heard noises, which I assume were drills or like a very loud drill. Okay, now we do know, according to Lombardo, that Paddock was drilling that night. He didn't finish one of his, I don't know about that night, but he didn't finish one of his little drilling fucking hobbies, whatever the fuck he was doing. So I started walking away from the room. Okay. Obviously, he's in the hallway. So I got in front of room 32129. And so there's a little bit of a discrepancy within there. That's a hard one to figure out, like timeline wise, where he is, what he's doing, where he was when he heard the drill. So I guess got to give some leeway to the drills actually being gunshots, but he did stick to it. Sounded like drills. Even on Ellen, he stuck to it. Said it sounded like drilling noises. Let's see. As I got in front of room 32129, that's when I heard gunfire. Okay. So he's in front of Aunt Mary's room. And as I got hit, I was pinned in front of. So what I'm assuming from reading Aunt Mary and what she had was she saw a security guard and he said, everything's all right. Just stay in your room. What I'm assuming is right here, that was not that moment, right? That would have been a moment before all this went down, right? So it would have been before 10:05 that Aunt Mary came out of the room and saw Campos. I'm assuming just because at this moment, he got in front of 32129, all of a sudden he started getting shot at. So I don't think he was checking the door at this point, because he just saw her come out of that door on his way in. All right. So I think I can bury that and get rid of that as far as I'm concerned. So I got in front of 32129. That's when I heard gunfire. As I got hit, I was pinned in front of 121, 123, which is funny because this interview is being done in 124. So as he walked out that door, he saw the exact spot where he was stuck for that night. I noticed I was bleeding at that moment, and I think there was some discrepancy on 121, 123. I think he was actually, I don't know. We're going to have to see what the report says, because I think I agreed with the report on that. I think he was on the opposite side of Shuck, and I believe Shuck was on the odd side, and Campos was on the even side. So I think when he says I was pinned in front of, I think what he was probably doing here is he's probably looking across the hall, and those were the fucking numbers he saw when all this was going down. But I think he was actually there in like 122, 124. Yeah, it would have been like 122, 124. So right, he walked into the room that he was hiding in front of. So I noticed I was bleeding at that moment in time. In time, I got over the radio and my mobile phone. So he uses his cell phone at work for work to contact dispatch. And shots were fired, and that I was hit. I gave him the location of 32135 because that's where the shots were being coming from. Okay, so yeah, so he uses his cell phone. All right, and again, timeline here, not sure when he was shot at. We're all assuming it was at, in the report is somewhat legitimate that it was somehow somewhere around the first volley, supposedly after the first volley. But again, liability wise, if Campos was shot first, if Campos was shot first, then it can always come back in MGM that Campos was the reason this all started. Something Campos did, or, I mean, you can't prove anything he did up there, but the Campos sparked this whole thing. I mean, just his presence, right? A big dude in a black suit, with a badge on his shoulder, somehow sparked this whole thing off. But I don't think we'll ever know. But, in the timeline, of course, if that's the case, and like I said, going conspiracy on this, if MGM's covering their tracks and all this stuff that he's saying in this statement here is bullshit and is scripted, then we can assume that, yeah, possibly that's part of it, because I can understand that being a thing, right? Them having to come up with make the story so that he was hopeless, couldn't do shit. This dude started shooting down there. He showed up on the floor, and all of a sudden he got shot. As opposed to he showed up on the floor, Paddock got spooked, all of a sudden started, it was go time. Started shooting down at the crowd, started shooting at him, all that sort of stuff. Later at that time, when he dispersed full magazine, fuck does that mean, bro? Like, how do you know he fucking shot out a full magazine? Now, I'm guessing this is at the crowd, right? I don't know if he started shooting back outside. Okay, so we're assuming he was shooting outside, right? He didn't go through a full mag, as he was shooting down the hallway. And you wouldn't know at the time he fired a full magazine anyway. You'd have no clue about that, right? He's not a gun expert. He's not listening to the clicks on the fucking how the bullets are going out of the whatever. He's just, the I guess the rapid fire slowing down or whatever the fuck, I don't know how he would have saw that, but I'm guessing, and somebody brought this to my attention. They said, this guy was talking about hindsight, a lot of this shit. So he was talking about like we are Monday morning quarterbacking this shit. So he probably knew it was a full magazine that got shot outside before the guy came and shot at him. Someone may have said, hey man, he dumped a fucking 100 rounds into the fucking, into the outside, before he shot at you or after he shot at you or while he was shooting at you or whatever. You're lucky, man. He only fired like 20 rounds at you. So don't know if he started shooting back outside at that moment of time. My shift manager, didn't mean to do that. My shift manager, my two outside units, they arrived to the center core. Yeah, I don't know, man, because this is like 2 words. This is 2 words. I don't know, because Saddle, I don't think was up there. My 2 units outside, they arrived to the center core. That moment in time, he wasn't shooting out towards the hallway. That's when I breached, made my way down center core. Okay, so they arrived at the center core. At that moment in time, he wasn't shooting out towards the hallway. So he's saying that they were up there at the end of the shooting or after the shooting, it sounds like. Then I breached my way, made my way to center core. After center core, 4 Metro officers showed up. At that moment in time, I was given the green light to go downstairs, 200 wing down the baggage area. Okay. So it still doesn't give us a complete timeline as far as, 9:59, 10:05, 10:06. Well, none of that. Doesn't give us a timeline of any of that as far as this is concerned. All I can say is so far, so I'm trying to keep my head in the game here, man. It's getting a little difficult because reading this guy's stuff just makes me dumb. And says they have a hot sauce alarm, like hot sauce, SOS. Okay, so I found a little bit on the hot sauce, which is not really finding anything because it's in the damn final report. I've read 1,000,000 times, but I didn't pull it up. All right, so yeah. So before this, we don't really have much. At approximately 21:18 hours, Manly Bay Security Officer Campos was working his normal duties. So 9:18 at night. Well, he's notified of several hot sauce calls into and so that is a very approximate time, right? 9:18. We're not talking about around 10 o'clock or around 9 o'clock. No, it's 9:18. So I'm assuming that's a proper time. That's correct time. And that shouldn't be too hard to find, right? Text data, I think he said he was texted it. Text message data, whatever. It shouldn't be hard to find that information. Manly Bay Security Officer Campos was working his normal duties when he was notified of several hot sauce alarms in the 100 wing tower where he was assigned to monitor. So he was just doing the 100 wing tower. Once an alarm is received, the standard operating procedure for the Manly Bay security staff is to call the room and attempt to contact the guests, which, I said, we stayed there. I stayed there for a couple days, and we left that room open for an hour and a half, and nobody ever called. Nobody fucked with us. We didn't even realize we did it until after a while. I was like, holy shit, I forgot we did that. We did the bolt, so we had the door propped open. We just showed up, brought some stuff in the room, forgot to fucking close it, and then after a while realized, holy shit, I didn't even mean to do that, but that fucking door's been open for an hour and a half. Nobody called, nobody did shit. Now, obviously, this was I think this was at the end of COVID right there, man, when they were a little, worried about people, coming in contact with each other, but still, nevertheless, it's weird. And then LVSA told me that he stayed there afterwards, and he left it open for 2 hours. Kind of became a fucking contest, but yeah, he stayed there for he left it open for 2 hours. Nobody called, whatever. So I don't know about this hot sauce thing. I don't know how seriously they take this. I'm guessing it's a liability thing for insurance purposes, but I don't know. Hot sauce calls are common and occur numerous times throughout the day. Security dispatch will typically close the alarm out once a security officer is assigned. So they close it out at that moment. Security dispatcher Brett Buck notified security officer Campos to check several hot sauce calls. Room 32129 was last on his list to check. Well, just because last on the list doesn't mean it's anything, but unless they check them in order of timing, but otherwise I wouldn't, I would think you just do what's most efficient. Go floor to floor, up the floors. Security officer Campos on 30th floor and route to 129 stairwell located north of. So this motherfucker, rather than walk down that hallway, he decided to go up 2 floors of stairs. That's weird, but okay, I guess. Maybe that's why he's lean and mean, man. He's losing weight doing this job. I don't know. Doing the Stairmaster all night at work. Security officer Campos attempted to enter the foyer. The stairwell discovered the door was secured and unable to be opened. The doors are to remain unlocked since the stairwell is a fire escape. Door has a handle, but no locking mechanism. Okay. Stated he walked down the stairwell at 31st floor, entered the hallway. Walked to center core. He used guest elevator to go to the 32nd floor. Video surveillance showed security officer Campos took the stairwell up to the 33rd. Wait, what? What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. Focus. He used a guest elevator to go to the 32nd floor. He walked down the stairwell to the 31st floor, entered the hall. Oh, okay. So this is after. All right. So what we got here? That's where I'm fucked up. Jesus, man. It's been a long night. Security officer Campos attempted to enter the foyer from the stairwell and discovered the door was secured and unable to be opened. The doors are remaining. Yeah, okay. So he's in the stairwell. Security officer stated he walked down the stairwell to the 31st floor. Okay, 31st floor. Enter the hallway and walk to center core. Okay, now he's on 31st floor, center core. He used guest elevator to go to the 32nd floor. Video surveillance showed security officer Campos took the stairwell up to the 33rd floor, then took a guest elevator to access 32nd floor. Okay, video surveillance. What the fuck video surveillance do you have? Is there video surveillance in those elevators or in those stairwells? Or could they just not find him in the elevator and they said, well, since he didn't take the elevator, he must have done this. But then video surveillance showed security officer Campos took a stairwell up to the 33rd floor. What fucking surveillance? I see that's the breakdown of this. I don't fucking understand where they got the video because there's no video. There's no video cameras in those hallways. Stairwell up 33rd floor. They don't say what hallway he was in because there are elevators down there in the 300 wing, I believe. Those special elevators. I believe it's the 300 wing. I guess one of those could have opened up and they saw him walk by. But dude, I don't think there's any surveillance cameras in his pathing. I don't think there's any surveillance except for the fucking elevators. And took a guest elevator to the 32nd floor. So he went up to the 30th. So I mean, it's possible. Okay. So I think what they're saying is fucked up in the way that they're saying it, but it makes sense, right? So they're probably saying they saw him in an elevator on the 33rd floor go down to the 32nd floor at this time. And that's where the surveillance is. But the surveillance video doesn't say he took the stairwell. But okay, who cares? How else is he going to get up there? Must have been stairwell. Okay, I can move on. I'm kind of sane again. Security officer Campos proceeded directly to the 100 wing hallway. Opened the inner door of the foyer entrance to the stairwell and observed, God, look at that view. Holy shit. That's a long fucking hallway, man. You see the doors off too, man. So this is probably somewhat crime scene photo. So into the open the inner door of the foyer, the stairwell, observe the L bracket screwed into the door frame and door that opens into the stairwell. You realize this is what kept the door secured. Security officer Campos utilized a house phone mounted inside the foyer. So there's the house phone, right? To notify security dispatcher of the bracket, the information was passed to the engineering section. So here they didn't even transfer him. He didn't even talk to engineering, according to these motherfuckers. I mean, the way this is written, at least. He straight up, dude, he was like, he called. They said, okay, we'll tell him. And that's it. According to him, he was told to call engineering. And then I think later in the same fucking report, if I remember right, it says that he was transferred. So I don't fucking know, man. Security officer Campos hung up the phone, heard what he described as loud, rapid drilling sounds coming from room 32135. So, like, my problem is, like, when the LVMPD takes liberties in filling in storyline, I have a problem with that, right? This should just be factual. But they fill in a lot of gaps with him, as far as some of this stuff goes. He believed the drilling sound sounded like it was coming from deep inside the room. Yeah, I believe he did say that in his on Ellen. I don't remember. While walking towards center core, security officer Campos heard gunfire coming from room 32135 and ran down the hallway. Security officer Campos realized he was shot in the left calf and took cover in an alcove room 122 and 124. That's fucked up, dude, because, 124 is where they did the interview with him. Talk about adding insult to injury. Holy shit. That's fucked up. You got shot, dude, and you're sitting there bleeding. I mean, even though it wasn't that bad, but you're sitting there bleeding in front of this fucking room, and then they sit there and they jam you in there. So here it says 122, 124, and I think Campos was saying it was on the opposite side. So I do actually believe these guys over Campos, because if I remember right, the bullet strikes in the hallway, when we got that report, those bullet strikes said that a couple of bullets had actually hit in that alcove right there. And most of them hit on the even side of the hallway, not the odd side. The odd side rarely got hit at all, which makes me wonder, what hit Shuck, because Shuck, man, nothing with Shuck makes sense. But Shuck, it looks like there are very, very, very few rounds that hit near Shuck. Even though Shuck was further down the hallway, it would have been harder to hit. It looks like, Paddock had really good aim close up, but he had really bad fucking aim further down. So like Paddock, I mean, when he shot at that room 129, when you're looking through a blind door at that little tiny wall, because that wall is only like what, a foot and a half, 2 feet? It's like a foot and a half. He hit that little foot and a half fucking wall from a fucked up angle through a door, blind, and he hit it 11 times, man. That's crazy. That's some Navy SEAL shit right there. Anyways, using both his radio and cell phone, security officer Campos advised security dispatcher he'd been shot in the leg with a BB or pellet gun and was injured. He stayed in the alcove while on his phone with the dispatcher waiting for help. Okay, so he was on the phone the whole time. Security officer Campos heard more gunshots coming from inside room 32135, but no rounds were coming down the hallway. Okay, then we get into Jason Aldean and all that. I'm not too worried about that. I just wanted to get Campos part of that story. Let's see if I can find the timeline, because that's not the timeline. I believe is after this. Sergeant Matchko. It's Campos. So what do they got for Campos' statement? October 4th, approximately 12:55 hours. So what's that, 10:55? Detective Penny conducted an audio recorded interview with Jesus Campos inside the Mandalay Bay. Okay, it's October 4th. So this is the one I was just reading off of. Also present was union representative. Below the summary of the interview. All right, let's see what summary says. Campos, unarmed security guard from Mandalay Bay, was working his shift. Campos stated at approximately 10 o'clock. Is advised by his dispatch, check a hot sauce alarm. No. You just said it was like, what, 9:18? Okay, but this is what Campos stating. All right, so he's advised by his dispatch, check hot sauce alarm. The alarm location was room 32129. Campos went to the floor using a stairwell at the end of the tower. Upon reaching 32nd floor, he's unable to open the door from the stairwell, which was unusual. Campos stated he walked down 31st floor, came back to the 32nd from the elevator. Campos walked directly to the stairwell door, which is next to room 32135. So, so they keep jamming the elevator down our throat. Which, I don't know, man. They keep saying it's the freaking elevator. But we look at the day after, and this is the day after. This is, this is the morning. So this is 10/2/2017 at 2:35 in the fucking morning. So this is only a couple hours after, man. So this is him in the hospital, I think. Let's see. Does it say where? Does it say it's actually? Well, he's in Henderson. So yeah, I'm guessing it's a hospital. He didn't live in Henderson. I believe this was done in the hospital. I don't see anything stating that though. But he's in Henderson, so I don't know. Let's see, Sunday. So, what was I having an issue with? Oh, yeah, him walking. So he says, God, I got to read the whole thing to make this make sense. Hot sauce room using stairwell, attempting to open door on 32nd floor, 100 wing. It was blocked. Went down a floor to use another wing's stairwell. Right. So, okay. I guess we can assume that he says he was going to use another wing stairwell, or he thought that at the time, but didn't actually use another wing stairwell. Instead, use an elevator. This guy's high as hell off morphine at this point. I mean, who knows? Who knows? But that does cause a problem. That does cause conflict with the report. So let's see. Campos was standing at the stairwell door. Wait, Campos walked down 31st floor, came back to the 32nd from the elevator. Campos walked directly to the stairwell door, which is next to room 32135, which of course the LVMPD is saying he walked up to the 33rd, I believe. I think LVMPD said he went upstairs. Upon entering the hallway door to the, it was 33. Hallway door to the stairwell, he saw a secondary door leading to the stairs, which was secured with a metal bracket. He contacted security dispatch, inquired about it, and was told to contact maintenance. So here he's being told to contact maintenance. So now we have another discrepancy. Was he told, or did they just fucking do it for him? Campos was told by maintenance they knew nothing about it. So, here, yeah, I mean, this is going off his report, which I didn't read all the way through. But I believe that is what he did say in his report. But that's a problem, right? I mean, that's a little bit of a problem. It's not that big of a fucking deal. But, reality, I mean, he's saying that let's see. So how did he word it here? How'd this thing word it? He contacted security dispatch, inquired about it, and was told to contact maintenance. Campos was told by maintenance they knew nothing about it. Okay, so he was told. While Campos was standing in the stairwell doors, he started to hear an industrial drill sound. Industrial drill sound. Well, why did you add that? Industrial. What the fuck, dude? Why is that added in there? Because that's not in his statement. I know that's not in his statement. So where did we get? Was that like? Is this the detective having a fever dream as he was drawing this, trying to fucking put it into perspective? Because all I want is facts here. I don't want your bullshit. Coming from inside room 125 or 135. Excuse me. Campos walked from that location to the center core of the floor, stating he was near room 129 when he heard gunfire behind him. As Campos started running, he was struck in the left calf. Campos hid in the alcove of rooms 121 and 123 as broadcast over the radio and called into his dispatch reporting gunfire. And he was shot. Of course, we do have the discrepancy with 121, 123. But again, just using, some of the other evidence, it kind of appears to me like he probably was in front of that 122, 124, and not 121, 123. Campos stated the gunfire was coming from room 135. As Campos hid, he heard more gunfire coming from up the hall. Campos stated 3 armed security guards were sent to his location. While in the hallway, he started hearing more gunfire, which he believed lasted about 10 minutes. Okay. That timeline's kind of weird. He believed the gunfire was being directed outside. Campos waited until he did not hear any more gunfire from the room before he decided to run to center core. As Campos arrived center core, he made contact with 4 Metro officers. He gave them information about the shooter. He told the officer the suspect was shooting the people. Campos then went to the lower level hotel, received medical attention. Okay, so let's see what we got. Let's see if I can find the damn timeline, because I think timeline does have some more discrepancies, or the same discrepancies rather. Do we have Allsbury here? I don't think we do. Mike Olkey. Yeah, I don't want to go through all that. I don't want to get into the fucking nonsense of Allsbury and these fucking dipshits, because some of that was really fucked up. Let's see. See if we can find some FBI, ATF, EA, patting everybody on the back. Fucking guys. Disband them all, I say. Start over again. Because obviously they weren't able to stop something like this. So where's the damn timeline, man? I keep fucking losing the damn timeline. I should know by now exactly where it's at. But I always, and I think this is, yeah, I've passed it all up. And I don't think there's anything down here I was going to talk about. Well, yeah, we had a little bit of an argument also over his funds, over the money that he had, because that was kind of goofy. Okay, I think it's up here with all the pictures. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So let's see. So 2205, we're looking for before 2205. All right. So 2146 to 2204. Security officer Campos entered service elevator 2146 hours, got off on 30th floor. So 946. So what was this guy doing for the last half hour? Like, does it take him a half hour to I mean, how many calls they say he had? Let me see if I got it. If I got that up there. Oh no, it was up on this. I forget how many calls they said he had, but you figure he had a half hour, man. He was supposed to get off 10 o'clock anyway. I think what this guy was doing, to a little bit of, somewhat, was he was sandbagging. He was trying to make sure that this was the last thing he was going to do at the end of the night, that he was going to get off right at 10 o'clock, and was timing it out pretty perfect. But who knows? Campos Center service elevator 2146. So again, you got a half hour discrepancy there, because you got these things at 2118. So almost a complete half hour. So what the fuck were you doing for that? I mean, you're checking the other doors, obviously, but I mean, those elevators I timed them. They take less than a minute. They're, I think it was just under a minute. It's like 56 seconds, 58 seconds, something like that, to get up to the floor we were on, which was, I believe, higher. I believe it's higher than, it was like 70 something, but it was a higher floor than 32. And I timed the elevator I was in, at least. I know all elevators ain't the same, but that elevator took a minute. Took a minute to get up there. So each of these trips, for him to do this, not counting for waiting time for an elevator to show up, each of these calls that he got should have taken, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe, minute in the elevator, 2.5 minutes walk down the hallway, check the door, 2.5 minutes back. So we're talking 6 minutes, right? 6 minutes each at the if he's kind of hustling. If he's not, then I guess you could add a couple to it. But so I guess the timing could work. It could take him a half hour to do 5, 6. I don't remember how many they said it was. I don't think they said how many it was. I think somewhere though there is in one of the reports, the guy mentions how many he had. So anyway. Security officer Campbell walked to the stairwell 100 wing, 30th floor, walked up to the 32nd floor. Security officer Campbell could not gain entry to the Second floor due to the door being barricaded. Security officer Campos walked upstairs, 33rd floor. Okay, so this is the LVMPD's narrative, not Campos's. Security officer Campos walked down the 100 wing of the 33rd floor to the center core. I took guest elevator to the 32nd floor at 10 o'clock. So this is where things start to get goofy, man, because 10 o'clock, okay, it's an exact time. That's when we're talking about seconds here, that could be off here or there. Security officer Campos exited the guest elevator and walked up the 100 wing to. So we're supposed to believe. Yeah, we're supposed to believe this. And I just thought about that. At 9:59, or is it 9:58? I think it's 9:59. He was supposedly on the other side of the bracketed door in the stairwell at 9:59. That's what I believe. That's what I believe the timeline was, the narrative with Lombardo. I believe that was the official final fucking timeline that he put out in the press conferences. At 9:59, he was on the other side of that fucking door. He figured out there was or he couldn't get through the door. So then he has to walk all the way down one of those hallways and then take the elevator up. So that's at least, like I said, 2.5 minutes. Now he could have been chugging, dude. He wanted to get out of there. He wanted to get out, but still, it's going to take most likely a couple minutes to get that elevator, get up there, and get up onto that floor. I would think this would be, possibly, 22:01 maybe. Yeah, again, it's not an exact time, so I guess we could put that together. Security officer Campos exited the guest elevator and walked up the 100 wing towards room 129. Security officer Campos checked room 129. So again, this whole walk would take about 2.5 minutes, I'm guessing. That's what I'm putting on it. So now we're talking about, let's see, till this was actually 22:01. Now we're talking about 22:05, 22:03. Security officer Campos walked into the foyer leading to the stairwell, observed the L bracket screwed into the door frame. So I could put him in that foyer at 22:03. 22:04. Campos picked up the house phone located inside a small foyer leading to the stairwell, called security dispatch, report the L bracket. Okay, so yeah, I could put him there. I could do that. Security dispatch transferred the call to maintenance dispatch. Maintenance dispatch then transferred security. So here we get the transferring, as opposed to them just telling him, oh, we'll take care of it, or them telling him, oh, call them, don't call us. We got him transferring. So that is a little bit of a fucking deal. And then I don't care about shucking contacted. I'm not dealing with that right now. Paddock fired 2 single gunshots into the Las Vegas Village area. And then Paddock fired an undetermined amount of gunshots into the Las Vegas Village area. So I've always kind of wondered why they split this. Why in the report they split these up? What's the point of that? He fired 2 single gunshots, which, I mean, really, to us, I mean, you can make it make sense, right? Because he did fire, 2 originally, and then he fired, some more. But all this could be condensed into one event. Undetermined amount of gunshots. So you don't even have to worry about the 2 singles. It's just undetermined amount of gunshots in the Las Vegas Village area, because they all kind of blended in together on the video. But to me, it's like, I'm wondering if these 2 single gunshots actually meant something more. Maybe they were spread out more than the undetermined amount of gunshots, because in the video, it just really doesn't seem like there's that much of a timing difference between these 2 single gunshots and then the rest of everything that was fired at the beginning there. Not enough of a difference to make these 2 lines. So I wonder if those 2 single gunshots actually have some sort of relevance outside of just, they're just random ass shots. I don't know. So 2206. So official narrative timeline. Security officer Campos ended the phone call, hung up the house phone After hanging up the phone, security officer Campos heard what he describes rapid drilling noise. See, and now we have the break. And that's what I was talking about in the last one. We have a problem here. Because if you legitimately heard drilling noises, it did not happen at 10:06 at all, period. There's just not, it's not possible. That didn't happen. If, and then if, because this was Campos, I mean, Paddock would not, and he's only got a minute to do this, man. It's kind of hard to put those drills away. And that was another argument we were having is you had a drill in the backpack and then you had 2 drills in the other room. I mean, why didn't you just chuck it behind the counter? But I know you didn't want to trip on shit, but still, I don't see him doing any kind of drilling. I don't see Paddock. I don't see a case where it would make sense for Paddock to be doing any kind of prep work, especially the drilling, because it's not just drilling. Now he's got to drill through that freaking wood, because according to Lombardo in a press conference, he was drilling on the side of the door. We do see a little hole in the side of the door. 10 made a fucking whole string of videos about it back in the day. But he didn't finish. He didn't get all the way through. So if he did get all the way through that door, let's say he did make it. Now what's he going to do with that spot? What's he going to cable up to that, or what's he going to string through that door? We do have a picture of the USB cable that's on the floor next to where that hole was drilled. It's possible he could have strung that right through that door and hook that up to something. What it would be, I don't fucking know. Was he going to take the people cam and shove it through that little hole and run that out the door? I don't fucking know. But it's possible he heard the drilling sounds, and then that's where we have the issue. That's where I have an issue. And if you heard the drilling sounds, then this timeline is broken. It doesn't work. The 10:06 timeline doesn't work. Paddock fired approximately 100 rounds in the Las Vegas Village area. Security officer Campos began walking down the 100 wings towards center core. So he got shot, according to this, after those 100 rounds. And I believe it was Eric that told me he had 37 seconds. Paddock had 37 seconds between the first volley of 100 rounds there and the second volley of 100 rounds. Or yeah, I think it was 100 rounds. I don't even know if second volley was a full 100. But that first volley and the second volley, 37 seconds. So I could see within 37 seconds walking across that room, battlefielding that, maybe 2 seconds? That room's not very big, man. I mean, he had to walk a total of, I think, about 13 feet. You could cover that. Anybody could cover that, especially hauling ass, because it's now go time. We're talking about, running. We're not talking about walking leisurely. You can cover that in a couple seconds. You had the gun sitting on the bar stool. Pick up the gun off the bar stool. Put the other gun. There's one on the floor that was fired out the window. So that could have been thrown on the fucking ground, and it could have, launched. I forget how many bullets it was in that first volley. I think down the hallway supposedly, but there were like 11 that were lodged into 129. I think it was around 20 or so. So, if you could pump out 20 rounds, a couple seconds, and then it just takes, a couple seconds to get back into that window, another fucking 2-3 second walk to that window, pick up a gun. We don't know how the guns were situated. I'm guessing, I've always guessed this, that the guns were sitting on that chair. Muzzle up, guns on the chair, fucking all, 11 or whatever he fired out that window. I don't even remember anymore. But, and then as he used them, I'm guessing, again, speculation, but, a speculation with me was that the reason he had that little tub thing going on with 2 chairs is that's where the guns were going to end up. Problem is, he put them muzzle down, it's going to burn the fabric, which we do look like. It looks like we may have a burn mark on that fabric, but it's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. But yeah, and then when he went to fire Chuck, that's I don't know what happened to the gun he was using before he fired at Chuck. So I don't know where that one ended up. But again, the drilling is what gives me the most problems here as far as this goes. I mean, aside from the nanny statement, because the nanny statement is also an issue. We have a couple different breaks in the timeline here, man. We got Campos on the official timeline at 10:06, getting hit, but him being up on that floor and in that foyer at 10:04, and then we have the timeline of 9:59, which I believe was the second timeline that happened. That to me actually kind of makes a bit more sense, but it's speculation. It's all speculation because they kept changing this fucking thing. But if he's up there at 9:59, it's very possible that Campos heard the fucking drilling. The drilling was a thing at that time. That would completely make fucking sense. That he was trying to drill something out, and that he could have even been the first one shot at, right? He could have been shot at before 10:05. Now I'm guessing, I would think, as far as Paddock goes, once he started shooting at Campos, that was go time, So if Campos was shot at first, it's fucking go time. He was shot at 10:04, if that was the case. And then at 10:05, he started shooting outside. And then that's where we get that from. If I guess it's also possible that Paddock saw Campos go into the room through one of the cameras, and that's when he started shooting the single shots. And then when Campos came out, started shooting down at Campos. But then that would be 10:05, and then we have a problem with the drilling noise, unless he heard the drilling noise as he was walking up the hallway. Say, 10:04. Heard the drilling noise, and Campos or Paddock stopped drilling at that point. Got the gun ready, waited for Campos to come out that fucking door, because you got to figure 129 is what, 5 feet? It's about 5 feet, something like that. I'm guessing from the stairwell door. We don't know what Campos' actions were, but to walk 5 feet, at a leisurely pace, because there ain't nothing going on at this point except some weird drilling noise going on. Yeah, I mean, walking just casually 5 feet, still ain't gonna take you no time, dude. It's only a couple seconds. And so Paddock, in the time Campos cleared that 5 feet, Paddock had to be ready to shoot at that door. So Paddock had to be, at least somewhat aware that Campos was there. It's possible he heard the stairwell door fucking bang or something stupid happen in there. It's possible that Campos was loitering around in that fucking hallway. It's possible Campos saw the freaking cameras and thought that's fucking strange. And Campos fucking, got his fucking eye checked by fucking Paddock over the fucking monitor. But and at that point, yeah, okay, Paddock could have, if Campos was loitering in that hallway for any reason, then it kind of throws a lot of wrenches into things, but because then you're giving Paddock more than that 5 foot of walking time to get ready for Campos, to get ready to shoot at Campos, right? Otherwise, if Campos legit walked out that elevator and walked 5 feet and then got shot at, then that means Paddock was waiting for him. He had to have seen him walk into that fucking elevator or that stairwell. He had to see him walk in there. And yeah, if that's the case, then did he hear drilling? What the fuck does that mean, right? If you heard if you legit heard drilling, that means you heard it on the way in. And that might have been when Paddock fucking spotted him. And while he was doing that fucking shenanigans. And if that's the case, then yeah, that would put the drilling about, I mean, not 10:04, right? Be earlier than 10:04. Could it be 9:59? Could Campos have walked down that hallway and that timeline actually be legit? That Campos got on that fucking phone in that foyer at 9:59, you know? Got put on hold for a minute, you know, got fucking transferred all over the fucking place. You know, maybe talk to somebody for a minute. I mean, putting myself in his shoes, thinking, well, fuck, while you're on that phone, man, I'd be kind of opening that door and looking around, going, what the fuck is going on this floor? Especially if you're hearing this drilling noise shit. And that could have been the time when he heard it. But, you know, 9:59, the problem is you got a whole 6 minutes. Let's see. So, yeah, you have a whole 6 minutes before you start shooting outside. You could shave off a minute, say that Campos was shot at 10:04. So you could say 5 minutes, right? So what did he do for 5 minutes up there? If that's the case, if that was the case, that's what I'm having a hard time, because 5 minutes doesn't seem like a long time, but in a situation like this, it's a hell of a fucking long time, and it's not tight. And I always like things being fucking tight, dude. I don't want any fucking any room in between these actions happening, but I don't know. There's a lot of things I could speculate, you know, Campos fucking around up there. But at that point, he's on overtime, dude. This guy wants to fucking go home. I'm guessing. I don't know how their overtime works at fucking Mandalay Bay. I don't know if they got to work, 5 minutes past in order to get their overtime. I don't know. I've worked at jobs where that was the case, but I don't fucking know. So that's some of the discrepancies that I'm seeing at this point. And that's where I'm having an issue with, right, man? That's where we end up with multiple timelines. We got multiple fucking timelines. We got 9:59. Campos up there at 9:59, dude. He was up in the foyer at 9:59. I can make that work, especially with the drilling. If you heard the drilling, that makes sense to me. The official narrative, Campos is up there at 10:04 in that foyer. With the drilling, I guess if we take it, because here it says he heard what he describes rapid drilling noises at 22:06. If this is out of place and he actually heard the drilling noises as he came into the foyer at 10:04, that would make sense. That would make sense. And then you could put this 10:06 in there. So why would they lie, right? Why would they change this? You know, my only understanding and explanation of that would be because you don't want Campos being the one that sparked this fucking event. And if Campos heard that drilling, walked down that hallway before any of this fucking happened, then especially if it's like a full 5 fucking minutes, then you have problems, right? You're gonna have issues explaining in court. Because I remember in the beginning when this happened, you know, they were slamming MGM, like, how could this happen? Like, you had security up there and they didn't do shit and they didn't stop it and they did nothing, and there's a lot of that going on. So Campos' second statement was done. Let's see. I'm actually curious again about that. No, not that's the first statement. I want the second statement. And the second statement was done. Let's see, October 4th. So they had a couple days to process this, figure out what they were going to do. His first statement was on the 2nd, morning of. And so this one, they did have a couple days. So they could have formed a narrative, and they would have had to do it really fucking fast to figure out what we're going to say as far as this goes. And at that point, I mean, honestly, I can make that make sense too. I could go through a statement and show all the fucking bullshit that don't make sense and say, okay, well, this is why it doesn't make sense. Because they told him to say something stupid, and he just blurted out something stupid, but he doesn't believe what he's saying, so it sounds really dumb. But I could see the fact that they don't want him sparking the event. They don't want anyone to be able to say in any form or any way that Campos started this whole thing, even if there's absolutely nothing he could have done, which there wasn't. Nothing would have changed, the course of things, except maybe the timing. If Paddock did not plan on shooting at 10:05 and instead he was going to shoot at 11 o'clock at night during the end of the set as opposed to towards the beginning, you could have had something like that happen. And if that was the case, then, they're going to have to deal with that, as far as liability goes, and say, well, hey, man, the guy sparked the event, but it was going to happen anyway, bro. I don't know. I don't know if that's what they're thinking or not, but it makes sense. Makes sense to me, at least, It's a 9:59. I mean, if he was up there at 9:59, that's one thing. We could put that with, that would fit with most of this that's going on here, except for the final fucking narrative. But yeah, otherwise that would fit with most of what's going on here. It'd even fit with the drilling noises. It fit with even Lombardo saying that Campos was shot prior to the suspect shooting at the outside world, I believe is the way he worded it. Makes sense. 9:59 makes sense for that. The official timeline does not make sense with that. Why he said that, I don't fucking know. Was he wrong? Or is this fucking thing wrong? That's kind of fucking an issue. So you got the official timeline, 10:06. A lot of ways, I mean, can make it work. But, the only people that really know what happened is Campos and Paddock, and one of them's dead. Aunt Mary may have a little window into what happened. Nobody's been able to get a hold of her. I know some people have tried, and they were in contact with her for a very, very short time. They had a couple emails back and forth, and then it just dried up. But yeah, so the 10:06 thing, I don't know. It's for some reason it just bothers me. It doesn't work with me. It doesn't work with Lombardo says. He goes against it. The drilling goes against it. There's a few little things that go against that. As far as Mary goes, let's see what her timeline was. She saw Campos walking up the hallway, said everything's okay. So that doesn't really change anything. That doesn't give any context. Her second one was he was shooting outside, I guess, when she tried to get the baby. That doesn't really give us any context either, because she doesn't mention seeing Campos. She doesn't mention anything about him. He doesn't even mention her in this. I think he mentioned her somewhere later in the Ellen show or some shit like that. But then, so 9:59, I can make that work. I can make that work too. To me, that actually kind of almost works better in a lot of ways, just with my problems, because I'm pretty hung up on this, the drilling bullshit. I seem to think that he's actually telling the truth on that drilling thing. That also fits with Lombardo's statement of he was shot before he shot in the outside world. That makes sense to me also. I don't know. I don't know why Paddock would turn around and decide to stop his shooting outside to go to the doorway and try to shoot somebody in the hallway that was walking away from him. I mean, he's already cooked, dude. He's fucking done, dude. As soon as he starts shooting down that door, you know, everybody in that hallway knows where he's at, man. He's got to figure he's fucking cooked. You know, anybody sticks their head out of a fucking doorway, they're going to see the holes in that door and say, fuck, dude, somebody's doing something down there. You know, and then obviously if Campos survives, you know, then he's going to fucking tell everybody. They're going to know exactly what went on there, which is what happened. So yeah, it's hard to say because like from that window, 9:59, 10:05, that's the window we got for Campos going up there. That's it. We got those 6 fucking minutes, you know, and you know, what is that? 360 seconds. That's what we got to work with, and that's it. I mean, that's all we can do. As far as that goes. So 9:59, it works for me. 10:06, that don't work for me. It's possible, like I said, he could have been shot at 10:04. That works for me. That totally works. You know, he could have been I say he could have heard, you know, and that also works with Lombardo's statement, all that sort of stuff. So I mean, anywhere between 9:59, 10:04, that works as far as the drilling goes, as far as Lombardo's statement that Campos was shot first, that works. But the 10:06 doesn't work with drilling, does not work with Lombardo's statement. And that's where the major disconnect is, as far as I'm concerned. And then here, let's see. So got a couple more minutes here, so I'm just gonna ramble on a little bit. As I got in front of 32129, that's when I heard gunfire. As I got hit, I was pinned in front of 121 and 123 and noticed I was bleeding. At that moment in time, I got over the radio and my mobile contact dispatch, and shots were fired that I was hit. I gave him the location because that's where shots were coming from. Later at that time, he dispersed full magazine. Yeah, okay, whatever. At that time, my shift manager, 2 units outside, they arrived center core. At that moment in time, he wasn't shooting towards the hallway. And then I breached my way down the center core. Who talks like that? After center core, 4 Metro officers showed up. At that moment in time, I was given the green light to go downstairs, 200 wing elevators down to the baggage area. Okay. So 200 wing is where the elevators are. Okay. Let's see. We got anything else here? Hot sauce. Yeah, I don't give a shit about the hot sauce. I said, I don't even know if I believe the hot sauce story at all. I mean, it's like it's possible they were using it at that time and they stopped using it after this happened. I don't fucking know. So you notify your dispatch. They don't know anything about it. They tell you to contact maintenance. You contact them. They don't know anything about it. So you go down 31, take the elevator back up 32. You go straight down the hallway into the fire exit that was secured. Those double doors, yes. So you have one door in the hallway. Yeah, okay. We know what that looks like. Okay, so you enter that little alcove area in the hallway, the stairway door. You see a metal bracket. Yes. Fixed to it. Yeah, okay. Am I even on the right page here? Probably not. Yeah, I am. So I keep fucking these streams up doing this. Let's see. So metal bracket. So you hear loud drilling come from 32135. Could you tell if it was deep in the room? Okay, so that's where the deep in the room thing is. Yeah, I don't know what the difference in sound is from deep in the room versus, I don't know, a little more bass to it. I don't know. It was pretty rapid. Okay, so you hear this. You obviously know that's not a normal sound, so you start walking down the hallway towards center core, towards 129. He dispersed shots down the hallway, which who talks like that? He started firing shots at you. See, even the fucking cop talks normal. Describe the shots like rapid fire, like slow, consistent. No, it seemed like an automatic. Okay. If I would have been shot, I wouldn't know where those shots were coming from. If I wouldn't have been shot, I wouldn't have known where those shots were coming from. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I could see that. Okay, so you start hearing what you believe to be automatic gunfire. You get hit in your left leg. Yes. Like, I'm just like picturing this, right? Again, I'm just kind of rambling at this point. I've kind of gone over everything that I was looking to go over, but picture like yourself in this position, right? So you're sitting in front of 129. 11 shots hit that 129, man. The fucking as you're sitting there in that spot, man, the wall next to you is getting chewed the fuck up. I mean, how fast would the fight or flight reaction take effect? You know, you to the point where you start running, right? Split second, you know. But just thinking about that, it's like how fast was this guy's reaction? How many of those bullets came out of that fucking door before he actually started running? I don't know. That always kind of puzzled me. At one point, they say he turned around to run, but they keep saying here that he was walking down the hallway. So I don't know if he turned around or not. He shouldn't have had to. So you get shot in the left calf. Yeah. So you continue down to get down the alcove. Yeah. Okay. You're on the radio. You're on your phone doing shots fired. Please tell me use both. Don't say, yeah, correct. Affirm. Yeah. Fuck figures. It's dipshit. Did you look down the hallway? Trying to see. It'd be great if fucking Campos actually watched this. Somebody has his phone number out there. I should text it to him just for shits and giggles, just so he can hear me talking shit about him. You look down the hallway, see where the gunfire was coming from. Negative. At that point, since I was shot, I was too afraid to pop my head out. That makes sense. Makes total sense. It's about the smartest thing you said in this. But I knew in the last room where the shot's coming from. You're already in communication with dispatch. You got help on the way. Blah blah blah. What is this? What is this? Oh, and that was so. This is a name. This is probably Sottle or whatever the fuck. And all three ops guess. Two are outside units and shift manager. But his security wasn't up there. His security wasn't up there. I don't think. His not a supervisor. Security guards were, but not supervisor. I don't think.
Second floor, the room is gonna be 135, right?
Because this is the only dude I see with any authority up here. And I could be wrong, dude. I could be totally off on this. But I think he's the maintenance guy. I don't think he's actually the... I don't know. I'm going to have to go through Allsbury and Sottle's fucking bullshit one of these days. Maybe tomorrow do that. But their statements are all fucked up.
Currently center floor, if you saw somebody with a
Hey, stay with me. I'm trying to get on the radio. The room is barricaded. We can't get in. I'm trying to get on the radio. Room 135. No. We can't get in. This has been barricaded. Stop.
Okay, so there's the other two cops. So now we got the 4 up there. So this should be where Campos gets told to fuck off.
Most likely, we'll be trapped. Okay, we're not gonna make any.
We're gonna hear in the company, it sounded like there were 2 shooters, we were at the event. We were at, there's 2 shooters.
There's 2 shooters. Oh boy.
I saw gunshot fire coming out of this room.
Shooting outside, shooting out.
There's open shots from down the street.
Yeah.
My question is like, okay, so he's showing the side of his leg. My question is like, why'd you even keep Campos up there, dude? This guy's fucking shot in the leg. He's like bleeding in his leg, man, and you fucking kept him up there. That's weird. That supervisor should tell him, get the fuck out of here. We got this.
Okay, so it's 30 seconds. 135 on 30 seconds.
So like that's what Paddock saw on his camera, right? That right there. I don't know. Does that look like a cop to you? I know the cops wear brown, and all that, but does Campos look like a cop right there? Because I mean, it's probably about as clear as it would have been in the camera. Does that look like a cop to you? I don't know.
I need the SWAT to respond to this order. Subject to Jerry. We cannot make that clear.
And this is 32, right?
Yeah.
He's smart now. We're gonna need that.
That is a format on it. Your Bible. Still in the door. We cannot advance.
I mean, I guess he could have mistook him for a cop. I mean, he does have a shield on his arm, but yeah, I don't know.
How close on?
I got full.
How close up do you?
Cops were brown in Vegas, but like, does Paddock has he had that much interaction with cops to really know that they all wear that uniform? I don't know. I mean, that was something else that was argued.
Want to advance, though? Because I'm hearing.
I need you to go to the elevator. The 32nd floor elevator.
That one?
There's one of your security guards.
Oh, Bill.
All right, so that's where they told Campos fuck off. So that's the end of the Campos story.
Yes.
I understand that you want to advance it.
182 SE. God damn it.
29?
There's shots on 29.
29?
We need you to watch our back.
What's
What
that?
I'm concerned about.
We need someone to watch this. Someone to watch
Those
this.
are locked down.
Okay,
Those are coming up.
hold on, I'm gonna update them in a second.
And you can also add.
I know.
No, room? Yes.
We got a key to that?
You guys have keys to this?
That's not a suite, that's a
Right here.
non-used elevator bank.
Yeah, so I believe the way the elevator banks work is I think the elevators go all the way, through the entire building. But what he's talking about right there, there's 2 double doors there. And that leads to an elevator bank that isn't used on that floor. So yeah, the bank's there, but yeah, they're not used on that floor. And then there should be a third set also, I believe, if I remember right, because I believe there's 3 sets of elevators that lead to the different floors. But yeah. Anyways, I think I'm done here, man. All I can do at this point is just ramble because I don't really have much else ready for this. I don't know. It's kind of interesting getting back into Vegas, but I may go look up Allsbury if I can find them and Sottle and go through their statements because I remember those were a clusterfuck. I think Allsbury's was a clusterfuck, but let's see if we can get anything off of that. But as far as Campos goes, I don't know what to say, man. It's just his timeline's a complete shit show, and it's like I said, it's about 6 minutes that you got to mess with, and it's hard to say what's correct as far as that goes, especially with the way that the report was written. The report's shit. It's complete shit. The timeline's garbage. It's always been garbage. A lot of people like to pick and choose what they want to believe out of it, which I guess you're kind of forced to at some point. But unless you got evidence to back it up, which is unfortunate because we're talking about a police report that you need to actually back up with evidence because it's wrong. So in a lot of ways. So that sucks, but that's what we're working with. Anyway, so I'm out of here. I'm gone, guys. I've rambled enough. What is this? 2 hours? Shit, I don't want to do a 2-hour stream. All right, guys. Have a good night.